Hey everyone, so this is a very different video from what I normally would do. Normally I'm a live streamer, that's my thing. And if I do upload something that's not a live stream, it's usually a mod showcase, showing off mods. But I was inspired by a video that showed up in my recommended, is an iDubbbz video where he ranked his favorite fast food chains on this site called tiermaker.com. Really easy to use, just go there. I just went to the search feature, typed in Resident Evil, and there was already something made up called Resident Evil Games, and it gave me the main titles. As you can see, the games along the bottom there. I don't know if I'll really consider Revelations 1 and 2 main titles, but they were included in this, so I guess we'll just go along with it. A lot of the time, people ask me what my favorite RE games are, and I usually don't really like to say because there's a lot of RE games, and to have to go down every RE game is a headache. So I guess this is a good thing I can lead my subscribers to if they ever ask what my favorite RE games are. I'll just like make it a command in chat. But yeah, let's get this started. If you've been with my channel for a while, you'll know a pretty good idea of what I like and don't like. If you don't know, don't get offended. There's going to be some controversial picks. This is just my opinion. These are my favorite RE games, so keep that in mind. This is my opinion. We all have our opinions. This is mine. Okay, first of all, from D to S. D being least favorite, S being the best. Start off, it's not even a question. RE6. My least favorite RE title. Like, by a large margin. I like nothing about it. The melee attacks, the QTEs, the gunplay, Chris's campaign, if you ever played that campaign, god-awful. Pretty much what I always hear is Leon is considered the best campaign. Even that I didn't enjoy. I've played Leon's 2 or 3 times now, and it hasn't gotten better. It's still utter shit to me. So I knew pretty early on I wouldn't like it. When it's in the first like 10 minutes of the game, you have to start a car by QTE. Okay, so this is how we're gonna start this campaign or this game. I don't like it. It's not classic RE to me. You're gonna hear me say that a lot in this video. I love classic RE, so that's gonna really build for how this list will be. Next up, Revelations 1. There's really only, I think, 2 games that deserve D class, and Revelations 1 is the other one. I didn't care for the characters. Well, the main characters are okay, but the side characters, I thought they were blah. Even worse, the game made you play as them. I don't want to play as characters I don't care about. I didn't care about. I don't even know what their names are. They were so forgettable. I didn't care about them. I don't want to play as them. Environments sucked. Gunplay sucked. It felt like RE6. I think that's what a big thing for me is Revelations 1 felt like RE6 a lot to me. And if it feels like RE6, I'm not gonna like it. Alright, alright, so we're done with D. Let's go to C class now. Revelations 2. Strong point. It has Barry Burton. I love Barry. That dude is an awesome character. He's one of my favorite. Anything with Barry is automatically bumped up from at least not god-awful. It had Barry Burton, so that's cool. There was some spookiness to the game. I mean, there was definitely areas on my first playthrough where I legit got spooked, jump scared. It was dark, dreary. That's good for an RE game. It was cheesy too. but it was still pretty far away from the classics. I gotta stop saying that word, the classics. I didn't really find it very replayable. I beat it once, and after that, it's kind of a headache to play it again. I don't want to spend a lot of money on a game that is good for one playthrough and doesn't really want to, like, there's no urge to go back to it. Next up, go with RE5. Best part about it is the co-op. If you go through this game on your first playthrough with a good friend, it's a blast. It's a really fun game to go through with a friend on the first playthrough. I will give it that. It's probably the best co-op game I've ever played. But if you don't have someone to go through the game with, and you're playing it by yourself, it sucks. My opinion. My opinion. It sucks. Boring. The replay value is decent, because there is unlockables and you can upgrade weapons. There's mercenaries, which I don't like mercenaries, so it doesn't appeal to me, but I know people do like mercenaries, so that's cool for them. This game had my favorite Wesker. I thought Wesker was badass. But overall, just the gameplay of RE5 is not my cup of tea. So I couldn't give it too high of a ranking because it's just... It's along that RE4 and after vibe. You know? It's not like the old games. Alright, next up... I know there's people watching this and right now they're like, this guy fucking sucks. Hey, I like classic RE. I can't help it. Next up, RE7. Jack Baker. Amazing character. I loved him. I thought he would have been a perfect Nemesis. He was a very Nemesis-like character, like Nemesis from RE3. Chasing you around the game. And that's one of the big problems, was they killed him off in the first half of the game. Once you get to the second half of the game, Jack is gone. You killed him off at the first half of the game. And speaking of the second half of the game, it sucks. The first half of the game felt really good. It was fun. Had a nice vibe to it. Environments were good. Second half, you're on a ship. Ship sucked really badly. And then you go to the mines, which is where the game pretty much ends at. The mines were a little bit better, but they weren't very good. And then the little very end at the guest house. Yeah, the first half of the game done really well. Second half, it felt rushed. Like they didn't know what to do after they killed off Jack. They didn't know what to do. So if they could have kept the momentum rolling from the first half to the second half, this game would be a lot higher for me. But the game just falls apart. Alright, I think that's going to do it for C tier. Alright, next up. Oh. RE0. I really enjoy this game. We're getting to the areas now that the games, for me, aren't bad. But I've got to rank it. I enjoy this game. It's got the old RE vibe. It's got great graphics. Even to this day, the environments are beautiful. The game is really slow-paced, probably too slow-paced. I've heard that from people who don't enjoy it. People didn't like the item boxes not being there. No item boxes was kind of annoying, because if you had to drop something, you'd have to drop it on the ground, and then you better not forget where you dropped the item at, because you got to go back and get it. There was the hook shot, which takes up 2 item slots. And you don't know when you're going to be done with it. If it's a first playthrough, you're literally going to carry the hookshot around the entire game, because you don't know when you're finally going to be done with it. And you actually do use the hookshot for like 2/3 of the game before you can actually get rid of it safely. I thought it was a great game. but it just didn't appeal to some people. For me, it was cool though. And this was probably the last. This was probably the straw that broke the camel's back when it came to the direction of the RE series. I remember reading reviews about this game, and people were saying, "Oh, this whole formula is getting pretty stale." And I'm thinking this is one of the reasons why RE went into the RE4 direction, where things are much different. Speaking of RE4, this one is a controversial one for a lot of people. I put RE4 right here, B tier. I am not taking away that this is a great game. I think this is probably actually the best game on this entire list. The game itself is amazing. It's one of the greatest games of all time, not just for RE games, but for all the time. But, for me personally, it is the game that took away what I liked. This is the game that made Resident Evil action-oriented. This is the game that changed everything. I don't have anything bad to say about the game, other than it changed what I liked. The game's amazing. It's just... it's the game that did it. It changed everything, so... It's a B for me. Let's see. Let's see. What next? I'm gonna go with RE1. We're going to A rank now, A tier. The original. Came out in 1996, 23 years ago as of this recording. It changed my life, without a doubt. I fell in love with this game, and I've loved the series ever since. Even when there's games that aren't so great, I still love the series. Without this game, who knows what I'd be doing right now. Introduced Jill, Chris, Wesker, Barry, Rebecca, that whole group. It was a revolutionary game that just got better for the next few sequels. It's a bit clunky compared to the RE2 and 3, but that's expected because it was the first. It was improved upon. Things were improved upon after this title. But for what it was a great game, and it started everything, so gotta love RE1. Alright, RE2 Remake. This is the only title that's gonna be in my top S and A tier that was made within the last 15 years. I thought RE2 was a really good game, RE2 Remake. It's about as good as a remake can be. I don't think it's as good as RE1 Remake, but it's a really good remake. It's got a nice vibe to it. But it'll never be as good as RE2 original because it doesn't have the nostalgia factor. Which, how can you really expect a company to recapture nostalgia? Like, days when you're at home, when you're a kid, just playing a game, those kind of memories, they'll last a lifetime. You can't recapture nostalgia from a brand new game. I don't think you can. I haven't come across that yet. It doesn't have the nostalgia vibe. And that's why I don't think it'll ever be as good as the OG RE2. Which I actually have next. The OG. Amazing atmosphere, likable characters, except for Sherry. Didn't like Sherry. That's why I play as Leon most of the time, because I'm not a fan of Sherry. But other than the Sherry, fantastic game. Gameplay's great, amazing music, graphics were amazing for its time. There's really nothing wrong with it. I mean, it took everything RE1 had and improved upon it. There is nothing wrong with this game, but it's just not. It's not my S tier. Now to S tier. These are my top 3 favorite RE games. I go with Nemesis. I think this game has the best replay value out of all the RE titles because of the RNG factor. If you don't know what RNG is, that means just like randomness. Literally every room you go into, it's going to be different each playthrough. It's so random that it's always fresh because you never know what to expect. The puzzles change, the enemy placement changes. Nemesis isn't always in the same place. It's a very random game, and randomness keeps it fresh. RE3 has the best enemy, in my opinion, other than Wesker. I love Wesker, obviously. I name a channel after him. Nemesis is an amazing character. He's scary as hell. Love Nemesis. Gameplay is great. It had a quick turn. I love quick turn. You can just turn on a dime, 180. Really good. Puzzles are challenging. I think this game has the hardest puzzles in the series. Like, I still have to use a cheat sheet. I still have a cheat sheet for this game because I can't ever remember the puzzles. Yeah, RE3, amazing game. Alright, next up. Code Veronica. A lot of people don't like this game, and I'm aware of it. And that's fine. We all have our opinions. This is just my opinion. This is my favorite story of the entire series. I thought that the story was really interesting. It's a different story, and that's probably why a lot of people didn't like it. The whole Alexia, Alfred, weird brother-sister, you don't really know what's going on with them. A lot of people didn't like Steve Burnside. I understand. He had a really annoying voice. I think it's his voice, though. If Steve had a different voice, I think he would be a lot better received. But he had a really whiny voice, so a lot of people didn't like Steve. I didn't mind him. It didn't really bother me. I thought this was the most well put together classic title. I thought it had everything that you'd want in a old RE game. I thought it was just such a good game, and as long as hell too. It's like twice as long as most RE games are. Alright, last but not least, my favorite RE game, Resident Evil 1 Remake. I think it's a perfect remake. I never get tired of playing it. Has lots of different modes that give it amazing replay value. Invisible enemy, one dangerous zombie, very easy, normal, hard, real survival. And then last year, Ben Powell made a randomizer for this game. It's a little mod you can download for free. Where you can randomize all the enemies, the items. You can randomize the locks. You can randomize the doors. So, like, you could go into the main hall, open a door, and you might be in the lab. It's an amazing randomizer by Ben, which just gives this game infinite replay value. I love that game. But yeah, that's about it. I'm sure a lot of people won't agree with my choices, but these are my choices. You can make your choices. I'll leave a link to this tiermaker.com, and you can do your own tier list. But this is my list. I did this in one shot, no editing, because I don't know how to edit. I did it in one shot and just winged it. But thanks for watching. And yeah, we'll see if this gets received decently. I might do more stuff like this in the future. Peace.